Welcome back to yet another Matt's Investing Corner episode. And I already see you thinking, the stock market is not the only one that got a haircut. I got it as well. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how the market is further developing, what kind of news came out and that drove the market. And I'm going to talk to you about opportunities in terms of investments that you can do and consider that I've personally done myself. And I think it's a very good moment to step in and to buy at a discount. Okay, let's get started. Let's first start looking at the market. Here on my screen, I'm showing you an application called Trade Vision. And here I'm showing the S&P 500, also called the SPY. Over the last couple of months, you can see how the S&P 500 has been developing, but what you can see even more is that in the last couple of weeks we have been going on a downward trend. And what you can see here in the box here are the last 4 days, and the last 4 days are all red. That meant that we actually closed lower as what we were opening in the market. Another thing that is interesting to see is that recently the volume of what has been traded on the daily basis has been going up in the last couple of weeks as well. Next, I would like to talk you through of where do we stand in terms of the fear and greed index. Currently, while I'm recording this on the 14th of March, just before the US market opens, the fear and greed index is on 15. Yesterday, on Thursday, on the 13th of March, we even hit the level of 14. And if we look at how this looks over time, it even shows that in this period, in the last couple of weeks, we really are at the lowest end of the last couple of months. And I'm not expecting this to last any much longer, but it seems that yet this week we were at the lower end of this fear and greed index. Next, I would like to talk you through what happened in the last couple of days of this week. So what you can see, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the FTSE and the Stock 600 all went down in the last couple of days. 3.5%, close to 4%, 1%, 2%. So Europe and the US were going down. This started by Monday, whereby the US stock market further crashed. We went down with another 2.5%. And Tesla shares was really not the one that you wanted to have in your hands. They went down with 15%. The whole sentiment against Elon Musk with his Doge and is not helping his companies in terms of the stock market. All in all, the Trump's discussions regarding tariffs is really driving the market. And this happened on Monday, but this is also happening on Tuesday, whereby ongoing discussion between Canada, between Mexico, Europe and China have been ongoing, whereby tariffs are just hurting the market currently. On Wednesday, there was a positive indicator. The CPI was coming out. The monthly inflation was relatively low, and we didn't have that much news regarding the tariffs, and you can see the stock markets immediately going up. On Thursday, there was ongoing discussion with tariffs, and yes, the market went further down. And this is, of course, a lot of uncertainty and political discussions ongoing. It's not helping the stock market. Friday, well, I'm recording it just before the US market opens, so I don't have any glass ball that I can look into, so I can't tell you much of what will happen further today. There were two companies basically presenting their numbers that I found relevant and interesting for you to inform. One was Oracle. Oracle's new numbers were rather well perceived, and you could see that the stock market went up, or Oracle shares went up. Adobe presented weak numbers, and that was immediately punished, and that fell more than 4 or 5% down. So we see that the stock markets are down, and there might be interesting opportunities to buy or to step in. What I've listed here on my screen is basically a list of different instruments that you can use as an investor. But as a beginning investor, I would like to recommend you not to use the top one, the short selling, the margin trading, the call options, the future contracts. They're way too advanced for people who want to start investing. On the savings account, this is not really my cup of tea. You can of course put your money on your bank, which is super safe. But the question is, do you get enough interest against the inflation so that it's worth actually putting on the bank? And this is where I want to advise you, look into individual stocks or to ETFs or potentially government or corporate bonds, for which I will maybe in the near future create another video. The industry that I would like to talk you through that I find very appealing and interesting to invest in is the chip industry. The chip industry is something that obviously due to digitalization, smart computing, AI is something that is booming, and this has been going on already for the last couple of years. But what I can see and what I've seen in some of the research that I read is that this industry is just beginning. There's a huge growth potential for further expansion of AI, semiconductors. And this is something that I've seen also in some of the research that I've read from Deloitte or from KPMG or from McKinsey. They are all saying that the industry is further growing in the next coming years. In 2030, the expectation is that this revenue that is being generated by this market of semiconductors will hit $1 trillion. And currently we're at a level of 600, 700. So there's much more further growth, at least expected in the next coming years. Here I'm showing you basically 10 interesting companies that are all listed for which you can buy shares. And they're all ordered by the revenue that they are being generating. And I believe each of them can be rather interesting to invest in, especially if you look at the recent correction that we're in, that some of them have been in the last month, they had quite a correction in terms of their share price. That means that you potentially can buy them for a very nice discounted price versus what they were worth around a month ago. Just for any clarity, I have personally already positioned in Nvidia, in ASML and AMD. However, for me as well, it remains interesting to further build a portfolio of shares, and I'm also having some ETFs. Talking about ETFs, when you go to the Giro investing and then select the ETFs, you can see that there's a very wide range of ETFs being offered. From artificial intelligence to biotech to China or clean energy, gaming, or if you're looking for sustainability, there's an ETF for that as well. And each ETF has basically a bucket of companies in which they invest, so that represents basically the industry that you want to invest in. In case of you are interested as well, like me, in semiconductors and you want to invest in ETFs in that type of industry, for instance, I have invested already in the Van Eck Vector Semiconductors. There's an alternative from iShares with the MSCI Global Semiconductors ETF. You can find them by looking at the ISIN number, or also called ticker number. If you copy that number or this code basically into your broker, into the search products, then you should be able to find them, especially when you invest with the Giro, and you will see basically under which currencies you can basically trade them. I know from Van Eck, for instance, that you can buy them in different currencies, in US dollar, in euro, in Great British pounds, or in Swiss francs. If you want to invest in ETFs and you don't want to just invest in one particular industry, then I strongly recommend you these 3 different ETFs. They are just a wide index ETFs. There's the Vanguard S&P 500. It's very popular. There's the Vanguard FTSE All World. Basically, you're investing the entire world in different indices. And there's, for instance, the iShares MSCI World. If you want to invest and you want to have very low risk, this is a very good moment, because currently we're in a bit of a correction. But on the long run, it has shown that stock markets grow over time. And these three are really recommended because they're also part of the core selection. That means that you can trade them and buy them and sell them for no cost if you do that only a couple times per month. I hope you enjoyed this video. In case you do have any comments or questions, then please leave them below in the comment section. I'm more than keen to read them through and to answer them. I wish you all the best with your investments and hope to see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.